Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to have an amazing session today, an amazing training all about lookalike audiences and custom audiences. This is one of the most powerful tools in Facebook right now. Lookalike audiences, custom audiences, retargeting. This is where it really gets crazy, guys. And if you're not using lookalike audiences, this is where some of the real money comes in. So I want to go over a few things today. This is probably going to be a 2-session course because there's so much stuff to cover in a course like this. So I want to start off by just going over a few basic things. So let me get out of my business manager here and get into the correct business manager that we want to be in. And so we're going to go right up here. And we're going to go to the Assets tab and click on Audiences. This brings us to all the audiences that we've created. Now, any audience that you've saved in Power Editor or Ads Manager will be here, and then any of the lookalike audiences. And look what it does. It sends us to the other business manager. We always get errors with Facebook. I was coaching somebody today, and we were getting errors left and right, but you just got to push through them. No matter what happens, just keep going, and you will find that success that you're looking for. I promise you. So even as experienced as I am, sometimes Facebook just doesn't like me and gives me crazy stuff. So I want to show you a few things in lookalike audiences, and we'll see how far we get today. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff to go over. So so when you're in the asset library up here, you can click this tab. It says Create Audience, and that's where we want to go. We want to click on Custom Audience. That's where it all starts with your custom audience. We're gonna go over customer file, website traffic, and the engagement audiences. So we're gonna start with customer file, just work our way down the list. Now there's a couple different ways that you can make a lookalike audience from right here. So it says add customers from your own file or copy and paste the data. So if you have a Shopify store, or if you have like an email list or an Excel spreadsheet with all different sources of like phone numbers, names, email, all sorts of stuff, you can actually jump into, so I'm just going to log into one of my old Shopify stores right here. And so right here in customer audience, or customers I should say, you can actually just grab all the customers that you have. And you may have like ClickFunnels, maybe you have a local business that you grab customers from. But if you have a comma separated value, most of the time called an Excel spreadsheet, but you definitely want a CSV file. If you're using an XLSX file, it's not going to work. Facebook only recognizes the CSV files. So we're going to go in here to Asset Library, and you can do add customers from your own file or copy and paste the data. We're going to click on that one to start. Now you can see, so when you build a custom audience this way, what you're doing is you're giving Facebook a file of data, and then Facebook is parsing that data into a custom audience for you. So if you have an Excel spreadsheet, so so let's say you have an Excel spreadsheet. We'll just go make one in Google Drive real quick. Or let's just type in Google Sheets. That's easier. It's a free Google Sheets. It's free to use. If you don't have Microsoft Office, this is what I used for years. You can see I have Excel down here. So we're going to go to blank. Now, what you want is you can see how Facebook has it laid out. Email, phone number, mobile advertiser ID, first name, last name, zip, postal code, all this different stuff right here. So most of the time, if you download from ClickFunnels or Shopify, or if you have a online business and you have previous data in there, many times you'll have tons of different columns. So you might have email, name, or you'll want to separate them into first name, last name. Now sometimes when I download the Excel spreadsheets from like MailChimp or Shopify or something like that, sometimes it's a full name. You're going to want to, hopefully you don't have like 1,000, actually it'd be better if you have 1,000 columns, but if you have 1,000 columns, you'll want to split that first name and last name up. You don't want a full name. Facebook doesn't work like that. So you want first name, last name, and then address, or not address, but city. You can do zip code. You can do state or province. country, and I know there's a few other things. Date of birth. So what Facebook does is they're taking all these data points about a customer and they're making some they're you're able to build a custom audience based off that, and then eventually a lookalike audience based off that. So just to simplify it, it's almost to say like everyone that's age 19 likes Snapchat, or most people that are age 19 might like Snapchat. So what Facebook does is not only take their year of birth, but they're taking the gender, age, phone number, email, address, city, location, and all this stuff, and they're using all the data in once. Because if, let's say you have 1,000 email addresses, well, if 800 of those people have a Facebook account and they use that email address for their Facebook account, Facebook can pull the data from Facebook and use that as their lookalike audience. There's so much data out there that all these companies collect about us, and now we can take advantage of that as marketers. So you have, let's say you have an item, and let's say you have a bunch of columns. So I'm just going to put my information in here just to demonstrate, marketing.com. And then my name, Andrew Hall, Newport Beach, 92663, California, and US. Okay, so imagine if you have 1,000 of these. We're just going to save this test custom audience. Now this isn't going to work actually, because the minimum custom audience that you're allowed to make on Facebook is 20 people. You must have 20 people minimum to create a lookalike audience, because Facebook needs enough people to be able to build a profile about. It's better if you have 100. 1,000 is wonderful. 100 is great. 20 is the requirement. So normally I aim for about 100 columns of data. Before I build a lookalike audience, you want at least 100 data points. But 20 is the minimum. So if you had people in 20 columns, or actually 21 because you have email address up here. And so, oops, I'm sorry. So we're going to go back to asset library. And so you can upload a file right here, and you can upload a CSV file. I don't have any sample CSV files in here to show you. But what you would do is you would well, actually, I'm going to need one. So give me 1 second. Let me grab my external hard drive out of my backpack real quick. Okay, so I got my lookalike audience here, or I got my external hard drive, I should say. And so I'm going to just show you a sample of how to build a lookalike audience with Facebook. This is a new laptop, like I said, if you've watched any of my free webinars. This is just a new laptop, so I don't have any files on here yet. But let's jump into the file system, and we'll upload file. And we're just going to go into this, and I know I have, actually I can just search for a CSV file. And it has to be a CSV file. If you have the new Microsoft Excel, oftentimes when they save it as an XLSX file, and that's not going to work with your with Facebook. Facebook doesn't parse that correctly. Let's see what we can find here. Okay, so I may just have to find one for us. Oh, there we go. There's one. I don't want to use somebody else's data because I know I have some of my clients' data in here. We'll just use this. I'll just delete the audience after we're done. So we have customers right here. Well, actually, I can just download. We'll just do this. This is fine. Customers test. So now we're going to hit next. And so now you can see all these different identifiers here. So sometimes it doesn't recognize that this is a first name. So right here, we're going to select first name because obviously these are first names. We're going to select last name right here. And then we have email. We got address. Facebook doesn't recognize that. Then we have city. We have province. And we have province. Okay, well, we already have the state or the province. And we have zip code. Is that the zip code? Yep, that's the zip code. Now, now we have 7 columns are mapped and will be uploaded. So the other columns in this Excel spreadsheet, like total orders, this stuff doesn't matter. So we're going to go upload and create. I don't know how many rows are in this one. 27 rows. Perfect. So now it's parsed 27 rows. So now we're going to create a lookalike audience based on that. Now we're going to target United States. Now what's cool about this is say you've been selling in the United States and say you want to branch out to Canada or other countries. You can create a custom audience based on all your United States customers and then create a lookalike audience based in Canada so that Facebook can find people in Canada that look and match like your United States customers. So let's select United States. Now typically what I do is I use worldwide and then I build a lookalike audience based off my worldwide data, or I build a lookalike audience of people in the United States based off worldwide data because the United States is more expensive than worldwide. So I get clicks from China and then I build a lookalike audience based in the United States off that. That's one of my techniques that I use. And I always do 1% through 5% because maybe I'll want more later because you can't build 2 lookalike audiences based off 1 custom audience. And so I typically, when in targeting in my ad set and I use the lookalike audience, I typically do 1% and 2%. And then if those work, then I branch out to 3 to 5%, and then I narrow down by the demographics, which we'll probably do that over the next webinar. So what I want to do is after this webinar, I know all of you guys are going to have questions. This was one of the most confusing things to me when I learned about Facebook. And so pile up all your questions in the group. And so that way on the second webinar, the second training about lookalike audiences, maybe even a third, I can answer all your questions based on this webinar. So it's taken a while to build this, and that happens quite a bit. So let's just be patient. Okay, so let's use our imagination and pretend that that is built. We're going to build an ad now. I'm going to show you how to use that lookalike audience. So we're going to go into Power Editor, and we're just going to pull up an ad set real quick. And we'll edit. So now let's say you want to use our lookalike audience or custom audience in this ad set. Now we're only going to do United States because that's the only country that we were able to target or that we chose to target. And then we're going to not do any detailed targeting down here. And then right here it says custom audiences. This is where we can select our lookalike or custom audience. Now I'm in the wrong ads manager, so let me switch over. So we're going to edit this one. And then we are going to go right here and we're going to select. So we have customers test. That's our custom audience. That's only 27 people. But what Facebook does with our 1%, it finds 2 million people that look like those 27 people that we found in the custom audience. So it matches all the psychological and metadata that it has about each of those 27 people, and it finds other people to look like it. It'd be like if you hang out with a group of people in high school and you guys all act together, you wear the same things, you listen to the same music. Well, Facebook does almost the same thing. It'd be like if you might all have the same class together or like the same things. Well, now we can market to people that look like people that we've already sold to. So Facebook is very, very smart, and they have their lookalike audiences are far better than any targeting skills we can possibly come up with, because they've spent millions, possibly billions of dollars on this, and they're very, very advanced. So now we have a lookalike audience of 1%. This is the best lookalike audience there is. Out of everyone on Facebook, these are the 2 million people that look most like our 27 people. Now what you can even do even further is you can go into, we're going to go into audiences, audience insights. Now, it may be too soon. Generally, after I build a lookalike or custom audience, I wait a few hours because it takes a while for it to build. It has to generate all the data and create all its calculations. So we're going to see if we can select it now. I don't know if it'll let us. So we're going to open. It may not let us do this. What did I name that? I named it customer test. Yeah, it's grayed out because it's too new. But we'll just use like a different lookalike audience for the same thing. I think this was, oh no, that's not one I did. Fidget lookalike. But that's only 200 people, so those are custom audiences. They changed it around on me. You used to be able to select your lookalike audience right here, but now it looks like you can only select your custom audience. So Facebook may have switched it around on me. I know there's a way to do it, or at least there was last month. I haven't done it for a while now. I just I do it a different way. I have a different strategy for it. Huh. I'll have to do some research on that, guys. They've switched it around on me. So like I said, Facebook's always changing, but I promise I will find a solution for you. You never know what Facebook's going to change next. So we're just going to move on. So yeah, so just do your 1% lookalike audience. That's fine. That's extremely powerful. I still do it to that way now, but when I do the 3% to 5% audience, I do it a little bit differently, and that's what I want to show you in our next episode. So stay tuned. I guess I got to keep you on the edge of your seats. But what I generally do, my favorite type of custom audience is buyers. So once you have 20 buyers, 100 buyers, then you can build a lookalike audience based off your buyers. So especially if you have a single product. So let's say like my keychain that I always talk about in here. So my drive, we're going to go into the folder that we all share right here. So this item right here, so this keychain, after I got about 50 purchases, I built a lookalike audience based off the people that purchased this item. And then I built a lookalike audience from that, or I built a custom audience from those 50 people. And then I built a lookalike audience based off that 50-person custom audience. And Facebook updates dynamically. So as I got more purchases, it automatically would update the lookalike audience and the custom audience dynamically based off of the continuing purchases I get, because as you get more purchases, the custom audience grows and gets bigger and bigger. So this is still loading. Of course it is. That's how Facebook is. It loves giving us problems. You can tell that this is not a recording. This is completely 100% live. You never know what's going to happen. So we got 1% to 3%, so we would need to redo this and get all 5%. You can see on all my other ones, all the other ones I always do 5%, 1 through 5%. And so you want to make sure, and it says audience too small, but we already know that this was a 27-person audience. So like I said, Facebook usually takes about an hour or so to build that audience for you. And then when we're in Power Editor, then we can choose which audience to look at. So let's show you how to build another audience. This is the most powerful audience that Facebook offers. So if you have MailChimp as an email service, you can import directly from MailChimp. I did that oftentimes. That's one of my favorite ways to do it because MailChimp keeps track of many different things. Now check out this. Now this is called Include LTV for better performing lookalike audiences. LTV, and if you just made your business manager, you're not going to have this probably. Facebook updates depending on how long you've been on Facebook. So if you've just got on Facebook Business Manager, you may not have this capability available. You'll need about 3 to 6 months of time in order for them to let this be one of your services. They just reward people that spend more money, and then they segment their audiences. So LTV is lifetime lifetime value. So let's say you have some customers that have purchased 5 times from you. You have some customers that have spent $1,000 with you, some customers that have only spent $20 with you, and people that spend various amounts on your products. Well, what you can do is you can create the price and the amount that they've spent with you in your Excel spreadsheet, and Facebook will try to find more people that are more valuable to you so that you can find people that will spend more money with you versus people that might only buy a $5 or $10 product, because some people might not have the money to buy your $1,000 product or $100 product, but you might still get purchases from people that have $20. And so Facebook takes all that into account, and it's much, much more powerful. This is my favorite audience to use. So we're going to name this Customer Test LTV. We're going to use that same file, if I can find it again, right? Oh, I think we did. Right there. Open. We're going to hit Next. Customer value. So we're going to look for the column that has to do with the money, because there's all these numbers in there. Facebook's not smart enough to know if it's a phone number or value with money. So we have to find that ourselves and tell Facebook what to look for. So we are going to go into, does this one have it? Maybe this isn't the same file I found, because this isn't the same. That's not the same one. So let's go back. Let's upload a different file. Upload file. We'll just, oh, that's why, okay. Because I found a different CSV. Buyer spreadsheet. That one will work. Hopefully. How much? Right there. How much they spent with us. And this is all the different amounts that they spent with us, which Facebook will take that into account when finding a lookalike audience based on that. So then we have first name. We have last name. We have, oh, this might be, you know what, this might be you guys. Yeah. So I need more than 20 to show you that, but that's exactly how you do it. It's the exact same thing as the last example, but then you select which column has to do with the money in there, and that will find people that, so like for this example, I have, I have the coaching product for $19.97, and I have the Facebook product at $4.97, and then I have the payment plan too at $227, and then also at $7.97. So I would want to find more people that look like the $19.97 buyers, because that would be a more profitable. People would spend more money. So if I wanted to do this, and let's say I want to run ads to this after, like I said to you guys, after I record all these videos, I'll be running ads to this course. So what I would do is I would build a lookalike audience based off the people that have already bought this course, and then I could build a lookalike audience and then target my ad to the lookalike audience based off the data that has came in from PayPal from you guys, based off the email, the address, the city, phone number if you left it, and then your name, and then if you have a Facebook account attached to your email, Facebook will see that. And that's how we do lookalike audiences. This was actually something that I was going to do on come January 1st when I start running ads to this course. Once I record all these videos, this will be a pre-recorded uh, uh, Facebook training where I also add more stuff in here because, like I said, things always change. So probably at least a few times a month, I'll always add videos in here, even come January 1st. So yeah, let's cover a couple more things. Do I have any questions so far? I know it's late, so this is an odd time to do the webinar. So I know there wasn't very many people on live because this was at 9 o'clock. I know I have some people in Australia, so I wanted to make this available to anyone worldwide, and that's why I did my webinars at different times. Awesome, guys. So what I want to cover is let's just keep moving down the list, custom and lookalike audiences. So we're going to do website traffic last because that is the hardest one to do. And so I want to leave that for last, and maybe I can answer some of your guys' questions in the group based off what we do here today. So you can see there's all different ways to build a lookalike audience in here. What I like to do is either video or Facebook page. Now I build a video, and I know I've done this in a lot of the promo videos before. And what you can do is you can launch a video, get 100,000 views to the video, and then build a custom audience based off people that have viewed your video, and then retarget them with an image ad. So let's say we had a drum solo video and we were trying to sell drum products. That's one of my clients. So I put a drum solo video out of somebody doing like a cool drum solo. Well, if you watch that whole drum solo, you might be interested in drums. And then I put a product, an image of a product as an image, and I targeted people that watched 75% of their video or more. So I would do people who have watched 75% or more of the video because those people are engaged. They've stuck with the video for a long amount of time. That's why we do 90-second videos, because that means that they watched the video for probably about 50 seconds or so. Or actually, 70 seconds. Then you can choose the videos in here. And like, so we'll use one of mine. I was doing a car, based off my car experience, I wrote a book about how to save money on your car, guaranteed to save $3,000 on your next car. And so I came out with a bunch of videos. Like I have this video. It wasn't that hot, but I tried. And then I have all these different videos that I launched about it. I think one got like 40,000 views, but that was probably the only one that actually did well. And then, so we have that, and then I have more videos on this page. That was for an example. But the most I ever got was only 41,000. Changing the way you buy a car, exposing all the dirty tricks. And so now I have 12 videos selected, all about the same subject. So if you have like a coaching program and you have a bunch of videos out about your coaching program, you can select all your videos about your selected product. And then I would target people, so I would confirm. Now I have people who have watched 75% of your video or more. Now I always do past 180 days because, as I said, this updates dynamically. So if we get a good audience and a good ad, we may run this ad for a year or 6 months at a time. So then we're going to say 75% watch car videos. Then we're going to expand the audience. That's lookalike audience. Go location, countries, or actually we'll just type in United States. And then we do show advanced options. Number of audiences, 5. We do 1% per audience. And then create the audience. And then what you could do is, if you wanted to find people in Canada that, because it's a book, it's an ebook that I wrote, so anyone can download it in the entire world, maybe we want to build a lookalike audience based on people in Canada. And you can even do multiple countries. Like I could do the big 5, United Kingdom, Ireland, New Zealand, and Australia. Now I have 5 audiences, and it's based off 1% of all those people. So it's 863 instead of 2 million. We're going to create lookalike audience. I've never gotten that error before. That was weird. See, Facebook doesn't like describe those errors good enough. So for me to figure out what those errors mean, I have to play with it for a while and try a bunch of different. It's almost like game testers. You got to like run against the wall and try all this random stuff just to figure out what's wrong with it. So I couldn't tell you what that error meant right there. I've never gotten that one before. But anyways, now we have a lookalike audience based in people that are in Canada that look like the people that watch my video, because I only targeted people in the US with that video. But these are people in Canada that have the same traits as the people that were in the US with this video. So I want to show you guys one more thing before I go, and then because I know this is going to generate tons of questions, and I want to be able to answer all your questions. So this is one of my favorite ones, building a custom audience based off people that have interacted with your page. Not a lookalike audience, but a custom. You want to build lookalike audiences based off buyers generally, or people that have watched 95% of your videos. Generally, lookalike audiences based off 75% don't work as well. But let's custom audiences based off of 75% work well once you have 100,000 views. So we're going to build an engagement. We're going to do Facebook page. We're going to say anyone who engaged with your page in the last 180 days. Page engage Andrew. Oh, this is going to be small because I don't really mess with this page anymore. And we're going to say done, because we don't want to lookalike audience. Now what you can do is you can target people based off people that engage with your page. So like on my Game of Thrones page, once I had 10,000 followers, before I marketed my products to a 2 million size audience, I would just target just people on my page with my ad. And I would always get sales because they're already my previous customers. They're already people that have interacted with my page. They've liked my page. They've liked my posts. They've shared. They've done something with my page, so they're much more likely to buy because they're already a warmed up audience versus a cold audience. So I know this is going to generate a lot of questions because this was one of the most confusing things to me. And so please, after you watch this, put your questions in the comments in the group, and I will get to them as soon as I can, and then I will structure my next webinar based off your questions. And then there's a lot more things I can go over. This will probably be a 3-part webinar. And so I know on Monday, there's only about 2 days before Monday, and we got the weekend, so you guys may not be watching these webinars on the weekend unless you're really hardcore like I am. But I understand if you don't. So I may answer the questions on the Friday webinar, and I may just do another subject on Monday because this is like an ongoing thing. Lookalike audiences are very, very advanced. I still learn stuff about them. Like you just saw that error I got. I don't even know what that was about. So I want you guys to make sure all your questions get answered. So I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar here for tonight. You guys have a great rest of your day no matter where you are. This will be up in the member. Well, you got to be watching this in the members area if you're watching it other than the people that are on right now. So I will talk to you guys later, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for coming by.